In this video, I will cover 3 examples of how you can utilize ChatGPT's image modal functionality for operational risk management purposes. I'm Manoj Kulwal. I'm co-founder and chief risk officer at Risk Spotlight. At Risk Spotlight, we have an AI practice where we provide training and consulting related services to financial services firms on how to deploy generative AI tools such as ChatGPT to increase the productivity of operational risk management activities in their organization. Today, I'm going to cover 3 examples of how you can utilize an image in ChatGPT and get some operational risk management related knowledge or outcome from that image. For the first example, I have an image here, which is about a business process called account opening and onboarding of new home loan customers. And in this image, I have highlighted the different activities which are executed as part of this business process. And then for each activity, I have a brief title and a brief overview of what is performed as part of each activity. Here I am logged into ChatGPT and I'm using ChatGPT 4, which is the ChatGPT Plus offering from OpenAI. So in this case, let me upload the image of that process. And what I can do is I can now ask ChatGPT to provide me some ideas on what sort of operational risks can emerge from the various activities which are highlighted in that graphic. So let me type a prompt to get that answer. So in this case, I am telling ChatGPT that this image highlights a business process in a retail bank, and it lists various activities executed as part of the process. For each activity, provide me with a list of 3 operational risks that could emerge from the activity, affect the performance of the activity, or affect the quality of outcomes from the activity. So let me hit return. And now what ChatGPT will do is it'll try to understand the context and all the text in that particular image. And based on that context and the question I have asked, it will now provide me the feedback of the operational risks I have asked. So in this case, my first activity was initial customer consultation. So it sort of understands that activity. And then it has given me examples of 3 operational risks that could be related to that particular activity. The second activity was document collection. So it's giving me 3 examples of operational risks related to that activity, and so on. It'll now do this for every activity which is highlighted. This is a recent functionality which was introduced by OpenAI, as part of which you can provide an image as an input, because before this functionality, you would have to provide all the details of the process to ChatGPT, and then that requires copying and pasting a lot of text. But now if you already have the process activities documented in a graphical format, you can just load the image of those process activities and utilize ChatGPT to understand the operational risks that could emerge from the activities in that business process. In the second example, I am taking an image from the Global Risk Report published by the World Economic Forum at the start of the year. In that report, there was this diagram which highlights the big risks that were covered in the report and the interrelationship of those risks. So let me go to ChatGPT and let me upload this image. And first, what I want to do is just get the list of risks which are mentioned in that image in a text format. So to do this, I will just type this prompt that give me a table of all the risks mentioned in this image. So I'm just scraping the text which is there on that image and just converting that into text format. So let me hit return. And now it'll start converting all the risks which are mentioned on that image into a text table format. So this is a good example where if you have a lot of text on an image and now you don't want to spend a lot of time retyping the information which is present on that image, then you can use ChatGPT to convert those text in the image into a text format, and then you can easily copy and paste that into your spreadsheet or your Word document. But what I want to do next is that there are a lot of risks which are mentioned here. So now I'm only interested in risks that are relevant for managing operational risks within the financial services industry. So let me now provide a prompt where I'll say, give me a list of 5 risks from this list that are most relevant for managing operational risks within the financial services industry, and then provide your explanation for each risk. So why it thinks it's relevant for managing operational risks in the financial services industry. So let me hit return. And now it'll look at that list of risks which we got from the global risk report. So in the first case, it's highlighting widespread cybercrime and cyber insecurity from that list, breakdown of critical information infrastructure, misinformation and disinformation. And for each risk, it's then providing an explanation of why it thinks it's relevant for operational risk management purposes. This can be very useful when you are reviewing reports which contain information on emerging risks, and you can easily use the images and the analysis which is published in those reports and then try to understand that from an operational risk management perspective. The third example I want to cover is the loss event type classification, which is covered in the Basel documentation for operational risk. So in this case, I have an image which highlights the level 1, the level 2 categories, and then the activity examples listed by Basel for each of the level 2 categories. So in this case, let me go to ChatGPT and upload this image. And in this example, let's assume I was new to operational risk and I didn't know what this image was about. So what I can ask ChatGPT is simply, what is this image about? And in this case, ChatGPT has analyzed that image and then it says that, okay, it's a loss event type classification structure. And then it gives me a little bit more context around what is covered in that particular image. So this can be useful when you're looking at some image or diagram which you don't fully understand, and you can use ChatGPT to explain to you what is that diagram about, and it may give you some introductory context around the topics which are covered in that diagram. And once ChatGPT understands that context, what I can do now is I can ask ChatGPT to give me 2 examples of operational risks that could occur in a business unit providing car insurance products to retail consumers, and then provide the 2 examples for each level 2 category under the external fraud category. So in that diagram, we have the external fraud category, which has 2 level 2 categories, theft and fraud and system security. So what I'm asking here is to give me 2 examples of operational risks related to each level 2 category under the external fraud category. So let me hit return. And from the image, it knows that there are 2 level 2 categories under external theft and fraud. And now it'll just give me 2 examples of operational risks that are relevant for a car insurance selling business. This example can be very useful for professionals who are new to operational risk management and they're trying to learn the new operational risk management concepts, where they can use ChatGPT to try and understand examples which are very specific to their own organizations. Similarly, if I want an example for that same category, but this time for a credit card product selling business, then I have the same example. I've just changed the car insurance to credit card products. And then we can hit return. And now it'll give me 2 examples for the level 2 risk categories, which are specific for a credit card business. As I mentioned earlier, this can be great for learning purposes for people who are new to operational risk, but it can be great for first line, where they can also try and understand some specific examples of how the different operational risks under the different Basel categories could occur in their part of the business. That's all for this short video. If you're interested in exploring further on how generative AI tools like ChatGPT can increase the productivity and the quality of operational risk management activities in your organization, then please send us an email at ai@riskspotlight.com. Thank you very much for your time and attention.